Buzzers team tonight is a comedian who gave his stand-up show the name Lawnmower. It got great reviews, and he's kept all the clippings. Please welcome James Acaster. Ian and James, take a look at this.
That's the vote. Blatter, he's won.
Oh, police are here.
Yeah, it's a victory dance.
Blending in.
This is the news that Sepp Blatter has been forced to resign by Gary Lineker, obviously. In spite of his resignation, Sepp Blatter will stay in his job for at least 6 months. To be fair, he has got a lot of documents to shred.
I don't think he'll ever go. He's got that kind of evil in him, but he'll never get rid of him. He's like Rasputin or Clarkson.
Why should Britain feel proud of its involvement in the downfall of Sepp Blatter?
Well, we might get the World Cup.
And it gives Prince William a job to do instead of changing nappies.
He can do what playing football? Would he be just promoting it as you?
Well,
yeah.
He's just a spokesperson at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
Isn't he?
Be a mascot.
Could be a mascot.
Put him in a nice... Who's... What, a lion? Is that England?
Yes, a lion would be, I suppose.
A lion with, like, what, horse legs?
If that's what you want, James.
I don't watch football, but that sounds good.
South Africa were $4.9 billion out of pocket. So why does everyone want to stage the World Cup if it costs them that much? What's going on?
If you have a house party, like, if you're the one hosting the house party, you have the worst time out of anyone. Your house gets destroyed, people break stuff and puke everywhere, and you get in trouble by your parents the next day. But everyone thinks you're cool.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much why people want to host the World Cup. So at the UN, everyone else is going... That guy!
Yeah. And in fairness, it was a great party, James. I'm sorry the damage was done, but, you know...
I like the idea that everyone's complaining about historic World Cups, but there's nobody going public saying, I don't think Russia should have it. Do you think that's for any particular reason? Death by polonium? Not being an option you really want?
What's polonium?
Polonium? He was a Bond villain.
Personally, I think Qatar should keep the World Cup. And I think the Russian World Cup should be moved to Qatar.
So they'd have two?
Yeah, World Cups don't usually have sequels. I think it'd be fun.
Should we play a quick game of Name Me a Sovereign State without a FIFA vote? Anyone know any of those? Yeah, yes, Ian.
Liechtenstein.
No, they're fine. They're fine. They are. They're in the clear. Yes. Yeah. Yes, James.
Legoland.
James, this is too difficult for you. Paul and Janet, take a look at this.
This is about the dog that won and wowed the contest, but was actually two dogs. And they didn't know about this at the time.
They had a stunt double.
Stunt double.
A dog's won it before, hasn't it?
Yeah.
A dog has won it before, yeah.
They're checking up who's voting. A lot of these votes are coming from Battersea Dogs homes.
Are you allowed to vote often?
You address that at me as if I vote.
Oh, well, no, I'm just generally throwing out. Is it like Tower Hamlets? You can just, you know, keep voting.
Why call the dog Matisse anyway? Can I just be a bit picky about this? Isn't Matisse the name of an internationally famous artist?
Are you saying Matisse was a great artist? Actually, somebody else did the painting for him.
Oh, yeah,
Double. It's one of the human acts allowed to say, I'd like to play the guitar, but as I'm not very good at it, my friend's going to do it.
That's kind of been Ant and Dec's thing for ages, though.
Oh, yes.
Did the Britain's Got Talent fans take it in their stride?
I should think they'd be extremely annoyed because they were asked to vote for an act that turned out to be duplicitous.
It's nice to finally see the viewers of Britain's Got Talent offended by its output.
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Isn't it the first cabinet meeting?
Pay rise.
Yes. David Cameron doesn't want them to take it.
It's exactly that. Several have criticised the raise, including Labour MP John Mann, who said this decision needs stopping. IPSA have defended their decision to award MPs a rise, saying it won't cost the taxpayer a penny more. No, it's about millions more, I'd imagine. I mean,
that's not my issue with it, is that it's going to cost me more. I don't want to get pay rises because I don't like politicians. I don't want them to be happy. Same as I don't want them to listen to good music or falling in love.
You want them just to suffer?
Yeah.
What have they done to you?
I'm not mature enough to have a fully rounded opinion. That's all I've decided so far.
This week, this morning, managed to secure an interview with the Prime Minister. Do you know what they discussed?
Sam Cam's beach body.
Yeah, he did.
And what did he say?
My wife is fit, and then he high-fived Eamon Holmes.
The pictures of Samantha Cameron taken by paparazzi on the beach.
I wouldn't say those pictures are taken by paparazzi. They're taken by members of the public on their phone.
Let's invent a new word here and now. It's called peopleazzi.
Peopleazzi.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, good, good. Let's start using that, everyone. Yeah?
Peopleazzi.
Peopleazzi.
Right.
Taking photos of each other.
Paul, we've all said it.
Yeah.
And it hasn't caught on.
Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here we go.
A pig was causing trouble, and the police had to get involved. That's all I remember.
I think that's...
You know, but I could be lying and just piecing that together from the photo.
Was arrested in the US this week. Daisy's crime was that she had wandered into a neighbour's garden and chased her around the lawn while she was gardening, and the neighbour was apparently so terrified of Daisy that she called the police. And the officers caught the offender after she got distracted by a lawn ornament. She defecated in the back of the police car and didn't seem that bothered.
No.
Look at that big space.
Yeah, God.
It's probably like we've been killing and eating her ancestors for years. She's looking out the window going, 1-1.
God. Meanwhile, what's this hedgehog in Holland been up to?
Mistaken for a lawn ornament to distract a pig.
He got drunk. He got drunk.
Yeah.
And according to the Mirror, he was found collapsed in the gutter next to a broken bottle of Advocaat.
I'd have loved to have seen that hedgehog buying that. Yeah. Going into the offer, yeah. Advocaat, please. Standing on the top of 20 other hedgehogs in a long coat. Left my ID at home.
We don't live that old. It's time for the odd one out round.
Yep.
Ian and James, your four are Colin Burns and his Rubik's Cube, Simon Plant and 6 men dressed as pirates, Tony Sutton and his Tiny Egg, and Alastair Moffat and Fiat 500. So...
Maybe he tried to break a record and didn't, the guy in the bottom right.
Bottom right. No, I'm afraid you haven't got it right.
Well, obviously it is records, isn't it?
Yeah.
But without knowing what any of the records were, I suspect that's not the smallest egg in the world, so he's the odd one out. He's been duped.
Yeah, no, Paul is right. They have all recently broken a world record, apart from Tony Sutton, who dropped what he thought was the world's smallest egg before it could be verified. 15-year-old Colin Burns of Doylestown, Pennsylvania, smashed the Rubik's Cube world record.
See, that's a proper sport.
Sorry, the world record for world's highest scream in there, I believe.
So-
Or a maniac in the background.
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication Picture Postcard Monthly. And we start with man with the name What, ironically arrested for what?
Man with the name Rex, ironically arrested for dogging.
Not that, no, not that.
Yeah.
Man with the name Bacon, ironically arrested for fighting over sausage. Kim Jong-un shows off what in photographs? No.
Oh, I know, it's his new hairstyle.
No, you're close. No.
Beard and moustache,
Hat.
facial hat.
Trilby hat, he had a hat, yes. Kim Jong-un shows off hat in photographs. Here he is. Woman caught selling off husband's what after divorce?
Children.
It's their grave.
It was their grave, you're right. The final scores now are Ian and James have 5 and Janet and Paul have 10.
No.
But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition. Ian and James have this.
FIFA finds new president. In the background there. What's happening to him in the background, Jack? Look at that guy.
He's having a photograph taken.
No, he's being
Paparazzi.
Paparazzis.
Paparazzi in the background.
Yeah, paparazzi. Yeah. And,
Getting peaked.
Yeah.
He is getting peaked big time.
Yeah. Are you taking the piss now?
Yep.
On Ian's team tonight is a stand-up comedian who once wrote a show about having done jury duty. Performed in a small venue in Edinburgh, 12 angry men had a restricted view and asked for their money back. Please welcome James Acaster. What pose did Prince William strike at the top of the steps that gave the Sun's body language expert, Judy James, a fascinating insight? He stood with his hands clasped across his lower torso in the fig leaf pose.
Yes.
This is a strongly self-protective barrier gesture that could signal 3 babies are enough for the royal couple. Judy James said in a rare moment of employment. What did Sky News' Kay Burley promised viewers would get?
A free baby.
Pieces include this stunning decorative tankard showing a lion cub and a unicorn. What do you think of that? I have a couple of those, yeah.
I think it's horrendous.
Well, if you think that's horrendous, how about this carefully handcrafted lion decoration, James?
Started drawing a cock and balls and turned it into a lion by the looks of things.
So, at the time of recording, we still don't know the baby's name. So, are there any thoughts?
I hope they stick with Royal Baby.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, when it's an adult. Hello, my name is Royal Baby.
Nobody's got any idea. He was born on St George's Day, but there's already a George.
Yeah.
It's William Shakespeare's birthday. She's married to William. What are they going to do?
Kanye?
Yes, now you're talking.
Kanye Cambridge.
Yeah.
And finally, shall we have a look at just how much the Queen enjoyed sitting next to Theresa May at a concert for Commonwealth leaders?
Oh, absolutely.
As one of the singers slightly slipped on stage, the Prime Minister had a good old laugh, and let's see the Queen joining in the mirth.
I just think she thought it would be rude to
Yes.
join in the laughter. It's
Yes.
just the Queen being courteous.
Yes, indeed.
Or she thought it was part of the routine.
Or at her age, falling over's not a laughing matter.
Ian and James, take a look at this.
Well, probably going to kiss in a minute. Here we go. Everyone's kissing. There we go. Little smooch.
Yeah, this
Now
is...
you smooch her. Yeah. Now we'll smooch over there. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, we smooched.
This was a very high-level summit. And bromance.
Sweet, wasn't it? They were holding hands a lot.
They were holding hands, they were kissing.
Some people say Donald went too far. I mean, how did he do that?
He flicked a bit of dandruff off his shoulder.
There was no way it was dandruff. That was cocaine.
Oh.
If you've ever heard Trump do a speech, it's all just going on about himself for ages and how great he is. He's doing coke off of everyone's shoulders, that guy.
Let's have a look at it.
We do have a very special relationship. In fact, I'll get that little piece of dandruff for...
If I was the Sun's body language expert, I'd be noting the fig leaf pose again.
Here they are, not wanting to let go. This is... Look at this.
It's like it's the first day of preschool. He's made his first friend. Absolutely pathetic.
At the White House on Tuesday, there was the shock news that Melania wore a hat. And what was wrong with it?
She forgot the veil, so the beekeeper's outfit isn't complete.
The brim was too wide, according to the male. Here's a trio of topical topics. Which one takes your fancy? Technology, retail, or seating?
What do you fancy?
Technology?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Let's have a look then. What's the story here?
Didn't we have this question last week about the robots making IKEA chairs?
Ha-ha! Thank you. Robots can make IKEA furniture.
Scientists in Singapore had been specifically teaching robots to assemble an IKEA chair called Stefan. How long would it take you to make one of those, Ian?
25 minutes.
You're such a liar.
Right, I got my Phillips screwdriver ready.
Ian actually made all this.
The good news is there is footage of the two robots
Yeah, we saw it
assembling
last
a chair. You
week.
seen it last week? I didn't know you saw it last week. I wasn't here last week, Paul.
No, well, let's have a look at it then.
They're not having any fun, are they?
They put it up the wrong way. Absolute idiots.
Just to tell you, we actually didn't do this last week.
Oh.
In the words of Nostradamus, blimey, I'm psychic. I must have seen this on a television programme.
Not this one.
Wow.
No, clearly not this one.
Absolutely amazing, Paul. Harness this while you can. What's the Brexit deal going to be?
It's going to end up with two robots screwing it all up.
Can I do this now, Paul?
Yeah, do it,
Thank you.
It's extremely nostalgic for me, but...
I feel like I've been in here more than 1 week as well.
Let's have a look. What's the story here?
Can we point out to children at home this is quite a dangerous thing to do with a can of petrol and...
Not if you're wearing a high-vis vest like that guy.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Taking the precautions.
Yeah, the artist often destroyed works he thought were substandard and called his friend Barry, telling him to go to his studio and get rid of the one on the left. Barry got an extremely foul-mouthed call from Bacon. You destroyed a very, very good painting. Any fool knows left is left with your back to it. Yeah, think about it.
It's got to be left as you're looking at something.
Yeah, your sat-navs, you don't get in reverse and then do the journey that way.
What has it been suggested the subject of this famous sculpture is actually doing?
It's actually been suggested that it's not called the Thinker, and it should really be called the Mourner.
I thought he was eating a pasty. I'm jealous of that person who got to burn the paintings. Is that the guy's job? I reckon if I was, like, probably wanted to relax, if someone, like, let me in the Tate Modern when everyone was out with a sledgehammer, it would feel so good.
Yeah.
Last time I was in the Tate Modern, right? One of the bits was a mirror. It was just a mirror. That's all it was.
You were in the gents.
Oh, yeah.
So the image changes all the time.
Yeah. Actually, it looked like the Thinker.
She left the door open.
Time now for the odd one out round. Your four are the best man at a wedding in Cheshire, Theresa May, Actaeon, and survivalist training instructor Dylan McWilliams. 3 times.
Well, I know the recent story about Actaeon. He surprised Diana, the goddess, in her pool along with her nymphs and was turned into a stag. and he was ripped to pieces by his own hounds.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite tough, but you're just not allowed to look at her.
What newspaper was this in?
He's the stag, then. He's organising a stag party,
He's
is
the
he?
best man. He's always a stag do.
And what's he doing? He's pointing to a shark, is he, or is there a swimming stag?
He's a survivalist.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Oh, shark attack.
They've all been attacked by animals except for Theresa May, who was briefed this week on how to avoid an attack by an angry duck.
Is that on her list of worries now?
What did the Prime Minister's aides tell her to do to avoid being attacked by the bird?
Stop putting the eggs in her mouth.
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features, as its guest publication, Refreshment Newsletter. What could produce the world's first trillionaire?
Brexit. I'm joking.
Mining precious metals on the moon. What smells of rotten eggs?
Oh, it's a planet, isn't it? It's a planet. Uranus.
So it's a good job the Apollo mission landed on the moon and not Uranus, otherwise Neil Armstrong's historic first words would have been, "Whoa, is that you, Aldrin?"
I love following Buzz Aldrin on Twitter.
Yeah.
I recommend that to anyone. Anything that he tweets, someone just tweets back, "Yeah, well, you faked the moon landing, you should be ashamed of yourself." That's his whole life. Landed on the moon, that was being nice on Twitter to everyone, and there's always someone who's going, "You should be ashamed, you absolute liar."
He punched somebody once, didn't he?
Did
Years
he?
ago for saying to him, "Well, you never went to the moon," and he punched them.
That.
So, the final scores are Paul and Beth 7, Ian and James 5.